Hi there. So now I want to talk to you about some of the more interesting sections of Photoshop. Let's talk about layers. So you'll know, you'll notice that under Windows, there's a lot of choices of capabilities with Photoshop. And I'm going to open my layers menu so you can see. If yours isn't open on your machine, go to the top under Window, come down to Layers. And under layers, we have a lot of power here. So what is a layer? I'm going to click on the bottom of this layers menu. There's a number of icons down here. The first is link, the second is effects, and the third one is layers. So the third one is mask, actually. The fourth one is effects. And I'm going to come over to this second to the last one, the one that's by the trash can. And so the one that I passed is called Create a New Group. But let's talk about layers. Create a new layer. So I'm going to click on that. So what is that? It just opens something on top of this background picture. Well, I'll show you. I'm going to get a paintbrush from the top. And if I hold down under paint, a whole menu comes up of kinds of brushes. And if you don't see brushes, you can add to them by opening import brushes and so forth. But let's just go forward. I've got a splatter brush that I was working with yesterday. So I'm going to just paint on top of him. Oh no, I've ruined my picture. But I haven't, because I'm painting on the layer above it. So by using layers, we are able to work in a way that's called non-destructive. In other words, we can do all kinds of effects on top of this image and then work back into them. So maybe that's too much, I don't like it. I can throw out a layer. I can start over. I can use a smaller brush and so forth. So layers are a really good way to work on a painting or work on a digital image and not ruin it. So how would I use these layers? I could come in, now in the middle are all of these choices and effects. For example, I'm going to go, let's say we wanted to make Chris Helmsworth black and white. I could hold down the effects layers, and what it would bring up would be all black and white. So now I could change how much of this is mixed with this picture. So that's mixed at 50% opacity. So suddenly I have a different look to this photograph. Let's open this up 100%, and now Chris Helmsworth is completely black and white. But let's look at this window for a second. Over here is the control for the actual effect. Let me get to this window. And over here is the actual mask. Let me open this so you can see what I'm doing. Over here is the properties that I've clicked. If I click over here, I get to the properties. Right now I'm in black and white, so by changing these scales, it's not going to change that much of the look of the black and white. But if I come over here, this is a mask, a layer mask. So what does that mean? Right now, it's 100%. It's all white. I could invert this mask. I could also paint on it. I just inverted it. So right now, no black and white is getting through. So let me come over here. Right now it's completely black and white, and let me paint just the area of his eyes. That's all I want to be in color. And what I'm doing is I'm painting the mask. Again, I'm working non-destructively to do this. So in other words, here's the photograph, here's the black and white, and on the black and white pass, I'm just painting out his eye area. And if I don't like it, I could just come back in with a white brush, because the masking works in these colors, white and black down here. So let's try another effect using a layer. So let's come down to, say, invert. So that totally blasts him out and makes him look rather psychedelic. And again, with invert, you can come in and you can actually just paint areas that you want to look kind of psychedelic. For example, but what I'm painting on is this mask, this white box here. Right now it's completely open, and I'm going to use a black brush, and I'm going to just open his eyes. Well, my brush is kind of a splatter, so let me get out of that. Let's come back over here and let's just get a nice soft brush, and I'm going to make it big. And now I'm going to come in and I'm going to, whoops, hang on a second. So I'm painting through the mask. However, I think for the purposes of this, let's get a brush that is much more, not quite so soft, a little bit more pressure sensitive. There we go. So that's what a soft brush revealing through this mat would do. Here is a hard brush. You can see the difference. And so forth. So that would be inversion. Let's take a look at some of these other options. I'd love you to take some time and play with what you can do with these brushes and with these effects. Here's a gradient. Oops, wait a minute. Let me go back to gradient. This is your gradient. Brush. And that, right now my gradient is based on the colors I have over here. So I can come over here and I can change this. Right now the gradient is linear, so it's going top to bottom. I can go left to right. I can also come in here and change my color. Okay, and you may say, where did he go? I don't see anything. And that's where some of these overlays really play an amazing part in the process. We can use different ways of mixing things. So right now I'm coming down this menu over here. These are my blending modes. Now I'm holding down darken. That's multiply, color burn, linear burn, darker color, lighten, screen, color dodge, lighter color, overlay. Overlay is pretty cool. And then I can come in with overlay and I can take down the opacity, which refers to how much the effect is showing through. So that's overlay. So I would suggest that you take some time and play with color processing using the effects and the blend modes just in this menu. This is the difference mat. Pretty trippy. Exclusion, and so forth. And luminosity. So right now that's set to that. I'm going to go back to overlay. I thought that looked pretty cool. All right, have fun with this.